Bonjour, bonjour, and welcome to episode 8 already of Travels Around My Bedroom. And today I'm going to talk to you about this particular object. And I'd love you to start thinking about what it is and where it comes from as I sit and get ready to do my little chat with you. So, this comes from Ethiopia. And before I tell you what it is, let me tell you how I ended up in Ethiopia. It was really luck, actually, because I was set on going to Cuba. I had my flights booked to Havana, and then suddenly at the last minute got a phone call from the travel agent telling me that my flight had been cancelled. So I kind of thought, what the hell am I going to do? That was over New Year and Christmas. And I remembered that the favorite destination of Michael Palin, and he's one of my favorite travel writers, and I loved his travel programs on TV, is Ethiopia. So I thought if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. So I bought my tickets and did a bit of research and found this fabulous community-based tourism project, hiking project around the hills of Lalibela. So got on the flight and I had booked one night in Addis in the hotel, and then I had another flight on to Ethiopia. And I have to say, Ethiopian Airlines is amazing. It makes it really, really easy to travel around the country. So on the plane, I was sitting next to this young man called Asefai from Ethiopia. He was going home for the festivities, and we started chatting about life. And that's what I do. By the way, I always talk to the people that I sit next to, even if they think I'm a little bit mad. But I like to know why people go places, and you can always meet so many interesting people. So travel for me starts on the plane already, and actually even before I get on the plane at the airport. And Asefa is starting telling me the most beautiful story. So beautiful and painful as well. I am of the generation that grew up with watching really very sad images of children and people dying in Ethiopia. The whole Band-Aid really marked my generation. And as if I was part of these crisis, because he lived in the north of the country, and he volunteered to work in one of the refugee camp because he just was looking for something to do, and learned English when he was there, and was taken under the wing of a really lovely man who then invited him to the UK and enabled him to get an education. And now Asefai works at Oxford University, and he's happily married. And he really taught me a lesson in courage and in opportunity and in not accepting the story that people put on you and creating your own life. And the job that he has is amazing. He looks after the wine cellar at Oxford University, and after the catering, and makes sure that all the lecturers get their food on time and are properly treated so that they can be fantastic lecturers for their students. So what an amazing job to have, yes? And I started talking to Asefai about the type of travels that I like, which is that I don't like staying in hotels. I much prefer staying with local people. So Asefai extended an invitation to me and said, well, why don't you come and stay with my family? And I accepted immediately. Now, some people might think that, I'm a woman, I'm traveling on my own, I don't know the language of the country where I'm going to, I hardly know this man. Why the hell did I say yes? Well, I do think that, there are people who vibrate good, and Asefai is like that. Just so much kindness was oozing out of him that I could only say yes. And, sometimes you have to take measured risk to really make sure that you can you can discover things and live things that are truly unique and also authentic to you. And that's what I do on every single of my trips. So I went trekking, and the trekking was beautiful. I would advise everyone to just go to Lalibela. Lalibela is also called the city of the sunken churches, and you walk on the ground, and the churches are actually sunken in the ground. It's the most incredible experience, and you can go down and see the churches. And the beauty of Ethiopia is that it is an African country that has retained written heritage. So you go to the churches, you see the pictures, the paintings. They speak Amharic, which is a language that is only spoken there. The religion is mind-blowingly interesting and fascinating. And this is actually what goes on top of the walking stick of the pilgrims. And because, of course, it was over Christmas and New Year, we had a lot of pilgrims in Lalibela and in Gondor, in all the places where I went to. And I kept to the north. I have never discovered the south of the country. And it was just so beautiful. I just want to show you how gorgeous it is. And when after I went trekking and I met with Asefai and stayed with his family, I had the privilege of, first of all, being given my own bedroom, which I wasn't expecting. So that was really a lovely thing to do of them. And then eat their food. And they have these massive pancakes, which they call injeras, which are so delicious. And also take part in the coffee ceremony. So they drink coffee 3 times a day, and they drink coffee 3 times every time, which was also very fascinating. And I, even though I'm French, I don't drink coffee, but Ethiopian coffee is delicious. So I never missed out on that. But the one thing that I will really truly remember that Asefai did for me was give me an insight into his culture that I would never have been able to get access to. He invited me to church on their New Year, and it started at 4 in the morning. And it was very, very cold because don't forget it's the north, so we're in the mountains. What we all did was wear this cloth here, yes. So it's cotton and it's made in Ethiopia. And you can buy it, and you can, actually this one hasn't been sewn properly at the edge, but Asefai's mother did one for me, which was also, the most amazing present. So it is very, very big, yes. And you virtually wrap yourself inside it. So I wore it as a throw. But you end up, and I don't know if you can see that, you really end up, I ended up spending 3 hours outside of the church, because you don't go in the church, that's only for the priests, wrapped in my gabi, that's the name of it, and being totally mesmerized by the beauty of the chanting for 3 hours, even though I didn't understand a word, and we went up and down, and I could see all the presents that were given to the priests, all the offerings, masses of umbrellas. I had never seen shiny, bright umbrellas. So I really wanted to share that story with you, because I urge you, when and as soon as we get out of Corona, to give chances to countries which will have been very, very affected by the lack of tourists. And Ethiopia needs you. And it's such an amazingly beautiful country. It is not something that you expect to see because of all the bad press that it has been given, at least for people of my generation. The food is delicious and the beer is very nice. Actually, they have honey beer, which is fantastic. Actually, Ethiopia is one of the biggest exporters of honey in Africa, if you didn't know. But also, and most importantly, because of the beauty of people and their generosity. And I cannot hammer that enough. Take a risk on people, because they will give you back 100 folds. Thank you very much and have a lovely day.